Fellas, I'm about to say something very controversial. Black princes matter. I know that many of you may disagree with this. The Black Prince is often considered to be a perma-stock tank with a gun that makes you feel like you are in Tier 5. Even worse, many have told me that they think the Black Prince is the worst Tier 7 heavy. And even more grotesque, one person even had the balls to tell me that it was the worst heavy in the game for its tier. But as I played this tank, I fell in love with it. After brushing away the haters and focusing on this tank's strengths, I started to play very well in it. In reality, this tank has the best armor in Tier 7 and one of the best armor models in the game for side scraping. This, my friends, is a hidden gem at Tier 7, and I hope you all stay for the rest of the video to hear me out, even if you think I'm wrong on this. Ultimately, this tank was made for side scraping. The combination of heavy side armor, its strong turret, and the fact that the turret is located in the center of the vehicle rather than at the front makes the Black Prince one of the best side scrapers in the game for its tier, and certainly the best defensive side scraping tank at Tier 7. So if you know how to side scrape, if you enjoy that style, this tank might be for you. And that, of course, is if you can withstand the terrible mobility of this tank. That is the weakest part of this tank in my opinion, and I usually use a turbocharger to help offset this. With a 20 km/h max speed and a 12 km/h reverse speed, this thing is the slowest vehicle in Tier 7 for sure. With the turbocharger, however, you can bump up the tank's max speed to about 24 km/h, which is a really significant 20% boost to the max speed. And then you can also significantly improve the reverse speed, which should benefit your side scraping ability. The gun is also a weak point for the tank, however, with only 150 damage per shot. This is definitely what you call a P gun. And it doesn't have the best damage per shot either. I think the base DPM is about 1877, which certainly does not make up for the fact that this tank's damage per shot is puny compared to its Tier 7 tank peers. With the right crew and the right equipment, however, you can boost its DPM to about 2300 and reduce its reload time to below 4 seconds. And this, once you get these aspects of the tank all set, this is where the tank really starts to shine. The combination of a strong defensive armor model for side scraping and a fast reload allows you to easily track your enemies as they charge you, which not only keeps them from charging your side scraping position, but it also slows down the enemy advance and allows your team to hit your enemies as they remain tracked. In essence, this is a perma-tracking machine. The tank's best-in-class accuracy and gun handling, which I believe is superior to most Tier 7 heavies, is very useful when you're trying to land those tracking shots very easily. So all in all, this is a master defending machine at Tier 7, and if you're really into defensive heavy tanks like this, I definitely suggest you try this one out. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Hope you guys enjoyed the little introductory set of video clips there. This is the Black Prince, and I'll be doing a review on it today. We have a couple more clips in the video that will help you guys out. But this is one of my favorite Tier 7 vehicles at the moment. It's very defensive heavy, as I said earlier. Very good side armor, about 100 millimeters, actually 95 to be exact, which effectively that can be 250 to 300 when you're side scraping, and plus you have the ricochet potential of those tier 9 guns. So if you take a look at this tank, it's very slow. It has a P gun, but it shoots very fast, and it has decent gun handling for a tier 7 heavy. So what I've done here is I put a turbocharger on it to make it go a little bit faster, to allow it to escape situations a little easier, to allow it to get to the front faster and get to the city faster if it's a city map, which makes you a little bit more safer in the game. Then you have a rammer and a vertical stabilizer that I'm running, and that allows me to perma-track people easier. The rammer is to reduce my reload rate, which allows me to keep tracking enemies at a faster rate. And then the vertical stabilizer is so that I have the accuracy and the gun handling to be able to keep shooting those tracks, keep shooting the enemy tracks and that sort of thing. So I'm not going to stay in the garage for too long, but what we'll do is we will show you another small clip that showcases a great side scraping battle that I've had with higher tiers, and then you have a full replay of a Mastery Ace tanker where I actually got the double mark in. I'm currently working on the triple mark, which should come soon, but I just wanted to do a video on this tank before I do it, and so here we go. So let's take a look at another video. So here we are side scraping against a few higher tier heavies. You have two very good high tier heavies. They have the IS-3 and the T-34.
We've damaged them.
And we are just going to town on them. We are... Sorry, that's not a T-34. That's a T-29. But still, we are doing a 2v1 here. You'll see some other enemy heavies come into play here as well. And we are in a side scraping position. It's tough to see because I'm in zoom mode. But I'm just... Because I'm in zoom mode, I'm trying to just track them. Because I know my rate of fire is so good. If I track one of them like I just did to this IS-3... I will be able to perma-track him and just destroy the heck out of this guy. So as you can see, I'll put a few more shots. I don't want to be too repetitive, but it's just, they might get a lucky shot in here and there. But this is the game, and so that was a perfect example of a good side scrape. Here's another battle, and this time I'm going to show you the full replay. This is the game where I got my double mark. I'm still working on my triple mark here. But here I am playing Karkov, the new Karkov, playing with two of my platoon mates here. One in the T-29, this guy named Torky, and then a page in the IS-2S. And so, let's speed it up for a second. Just standard procedure, go to your city area, try to find a good side scrape position. Don't see here I realize that there's not too much going on, and to save you guys the boredom of just me sitting around, I'm gonna fast forward it until I push up against this OI. OI has a terrible shot at me. I load gold because this tank's pen is just pretty bad. It's 171 pen, which is just not enough to consistently hit an OI. And here's what I do best. I'll go into that side scraping position. There's no way the OI can pen me unless he gets really lucky. And we just go to town on him. Claim his life, and he wasn't able to shoot us once. So it's a good example of the armor here. Keep in mind I'm using a turbocharger, so that was a little bit easier because we had better max speed. But let's see what happens now. So as you can see on the minimap, we won the city, essentially, but we're still trying to win the field. We might actually be losing the field at this second. And so, although this tank is a P gun, it shoots its Ps pretty accurately. It's a pretty accurate gun once you get a good crew and that sort of thing and good equipment. And so I'm just taking blind shots with my AP rounds here. It might have been too much, but I realized that the Hellcat just was not really moving back even though I was shooting him in the face. So I wondered if he was either AFK or if he just had a really low reaction time. I probably put a few shots in. This particular game has a lot of blind shots, which you're going to see pretty soon here. So As of now, I'm just trying to take this position or hold this position. I probably extended my reach there by not staying behind the rubble. And that's when you can get penned, because your front, if you're not side scraping, your front can get penned. Your front hull, not your turret. So I'm just trying to stay around here. I take a slight risk here by going and trying to flank the Scorpion, but there was just nothing happening on the enemy team's hill that I thought I could do it. So I get shot a couple times, and maybe that was a bad mistake. But at least I'm able to support my team playing against the Scorpion right here. Put one shot into him. And again, this is where the vertical stabilizer comes into play. This is good gun handling. We put every shot we take into that tank, so it's a good 300 damage or so. And I'm sort of the guy, in this point, I'm sort of sniping, because I don't want to expose my sides in the middle of the field, right? So I'm trying to stay near buildings and shoot from afar, where they can't pen me as much. And I'm not doing a great job at it. This Type 64 should have been blown to pieces by coming up to that little hill there, over there. But he wasn't. So he got a couple shots into me. I have a ton of hit points, so I still have around 600 left, so that's a good sign. So here, I'm about to show you the perma-tracking ability of this vehicle in a second on this guy. It might take a while. I do some damage to him. But this guy eventually gets... He gets totally schmucked. Having a tough time penning him. I probably could be aiming a little bit better in this instance right here, but it's a tough tank to pen. I mean, he's doing the right thing, not showing his side, and so I'm waiting for him to pop up again. There we go. Can I get a tracking shot? That's the first thing I'm thinking. Tracked. Now he's perma-tracked, baby. He's perma-tracked. So even if I miss every other shot, I'll still pin him. I'll still track him. So what I'm doing now is I'm just holding my right cursor on the target, so my actual aim doesn't move, and I'm just pouring bullets into this poor guy. You'll see it in the post-game stats, but I'm just pouring bullets into his track. He's not able to repair it in time, and eventually I get bored and I stop, but I eventually do like 1,000 damage in that period of blind shooting. And so I realized the biggest threat to me is we have a CS-52 Polish medium, tier 8 medium, that could attack me from the front. So that's why I get behind this rubble / building area, and I try to help my team here. I pull out my side because I see our A46 is scouting, so I'm not too worried about them penning my side because they're probably not going to see me. And my friend is capping it out. Paige in the IS-2S is capping it out, so I'm just trying to protect him, and I'm sort of playing a defensive role right here. This game isn't... There's a little bit of a stalemate here. Try to get a shot in that Sturm WT, but failed to do so. And it's 6 tanks on 6 tanks, as you can see. So now we're down by 1. So it's 5 tanks against 6 enemy tanks. They don't have a ton of hit points. So I think we have the advantage on the health side, actually. But they apply some pressure, and they knock off our ally on the cap circle. I think Paige retreats because they just push up on us, and it's 3-on-2 over there. Our T-34-3, as you can tell on the minimap, isn't doing much. But here's that super Pershing, right? He's almost dead. We did about 1,000 damage to him through blind shots. And so now it's 4 tanks of ours against 5 of theirs. And I'm not trying to pull any 200 IQ move here. I don't want to make any risks. I don't want to take any risks in this vehicle right now because first of all, we're down, and second of all, there's no area where I can feel safe in the field right now. So we're just waiting here. I'm talking to my platoon mate right now. He's probably going to get on cap soon, but we just killed the C-52, and now it's just lightly armed vehicles that we're waiting to kill. 1 down, and now we're just waiting. We have our guy on cap to draw them in, and it's just a piece of cake from here on. You might have, the biggest risk right now is their tank destroyer. They could pen me pretty easily, but even their light tanks, if I'm not in the right position, they can pen me frontally. So I do have to be careful. About a minute left on the time, and we're just not seeing anything. We see a last-ditch resort from M41 Bulldog, and our good gun accuracy, our good gun handling takes him out in a second. And so now we're just waiting. 42 seconds on the clock. 40 seconds on the clock. Our Scorpion went to cap, which is good. And I don't know what happened here, but our guy, I think they shot our IS-2S from the hill. There's 4 minutes left on the clock, and it's just sort of a hide-and-go-seek game. Type 64. And we hit them pretty well with that good accuracy. And now it's just this Stewart WT left. And as you can tell from his gameplay, he's not the best player in the world. So I decide to push. And this is exactly why you need a turbocharger, because imagine, if you think this is slow, imagine what it's like without a turbocharger. Keep advancing. Get a really unlucky shot there. He stopped in the middle of nowhere. Even with that guy's accuracy, he couldn't pen me. And that's game. So let's take a look at the post-game stats. Very defensive playstyle. You have to be patient in this tank, as you can see. Let's take a look. Alright guys, here's the post-game stats. Mastery ace tanker and a double mark with a good defensive game with a little bit of side scraping. But you saw a little bit of side scraping in this match. A lot of perma-tracking in this match, as you saw me take out that tier 8 Super Pershing, which was really crucial to our team. And ended up coming out with around 3,600 damage. I think in the game you saw around 2,400 damage. So that means we did about 1,200 damage in blind shots. So as you can see, we hit the Super Pershing 8 times for 1,300 damage in total because we were able to perma-track him. That's the hidden gem about this gun. You might not have the big alpha, but if you get someone tracked, you will keep them tracked, and you will have that 1,300 damage to a high tier medium like that. And so we did shoot some premium, so we did lose a little bit of money, not a ton, and it's not bad because I was trying to mark the tank. And I was below 100 battles, so it was a little harder to mark it. But yeah, we got Fire for Effect, Bruiser, Fighter, and the Hand of God here. Great match, great tank, and I hope you guys, end up exploring this tank. Don't be discouraged by the haters. Black Princes do matter, and just don't fall for the haters. Try the tank out for yourself. If you enjoy the side scraping, if you enjoy playing a heavily armored defensive heavy. You really gotta try this one out. I'll catch you guys in the next video, everyone.